Hey guys, Bearded Stick here. Today, before we get into the video, I just wanted to explain what we were doing. We went to the same dealership that we bought the CF Moto Papio from because I wanted to test ride the CF Moto NK300. It's a single cylinder 300cc naked bike from CF Moto. So Boomer Buzz went with me. He brought his Rebel 300, so that way when we were on the test ride we could sort of get a little bit of a side-by-side comparison. And unfortunately, because I don't know what I'm doing, I did screw up the GoPro settings, and the field of view is a little bit narrower than it normally is, so you can't see as much of the bike as you can in our other footage, so sorry about that. So without further ado, here's the footage. So there she is. Cool looking bike. Looks like a KTM Duke, but definitely tasteful styling, at least in my opinion. Got the trellis frame, got some stripes on the wheels. It's got the European style fender as opposed to having a big tail coming off the back, which I prefer that look because it sort of almost gives the illusion that you have a fender eliminator kit on it, but you're still got a full coverage fender that will stop the rain so you don't get soaked. Underslung exhaust, almost similar to like what Yamaha's doing with their MT series. It sounds good. Like the exhausts, I don't think you'd need to change that because it's got rumble to it. It's a deeper tone exhaust. Doesn't sound like a vacuum cleaner. That's got a little bit of a vacuum cleaner sound. This sounds almost like it's got a pipe on it already. There's the headlight. A cool little DRL, daytime running light. It's got passing lights. Pretty cool. Here's the Rebel. So, I think they look good together though. Pretty cool looking. Right. Right, same 300 single cylinder motor that they're using in the CB300, which the CB300 naked bike would be a direct equivalent in terms of ergonomics and styling to this bike. So that's why we took this bike with us, because even though it's styled like a cruiser, it's going to perform basically the same as the CB300. Alright everybody, armchair bikers, doing a test ride here on the CF Moto 300 NK. Boomer is behind me on a Rebel 300, so we thought that would be a good bike to compare this to. Both single cylinder 300 cc's. Now Boomer does not have his camera with him or his microphone on, so you're not going to hear him, but we're just going to do a quick little loop because we got to get this back to the dealership. But this is a cool bike. We're feeling it out. Maybe we'll have to get one. But single cylinder, 300 cc's. It's a naked style bike. Upright seating position. 6 speeds. And first time riding it, feels pretty good. Once again, CF Motos are surprising. Yeah, so taking off on it, it feels like it's got a lot of torque. And I just got off the Rebel, and I'm almost thinking at least it gives the illusion that it has a little more torque than the Rebel. I don't actually know if that's true. But when you take off, it sort of just seems to launch a little quicker, but I don't know. That is by the seat of my pants, so, but it feels good. And even at 6th gear, like rolling on the throttle, I mean, it pulls 6th gear, it doesn't bog, you don't have to drop into 5th. Yeah, the Rebel has 1,500 miles on it. That's one of our bikes, so that is well broken in. Once again, it says 0 miles on it, not broken in. So with time it should only get better, but already it almost feels like it's broken in, and it pulls well through all the gears. Even when you're in 6th gear, you can just crack the throttle open. She just rips, mod. As much as a 300 will, but it's pretty cool. And as we like to say on armchair bikers, or at least Boomer tends to, it's hot, Jody. Get the checkbook. Get the checkbook. It's hot. Might have to get the checkbook. This thing feels good. Could this be a Yamaha MT-03 killer? I don't know. Could it be a Duke 390 killer? I don't know, maybe. Yep. Whole off-road test there. Some big tall curbs, so you can handle it. Sounds good too. The exhaust sounds pretty good on this. For a stock exhaust, I mean, I don't really see why you would even need to put a pipe on this because it's loud enough. It's a deep. It doesn't sound like a vacuum cleaner either. It's got a sort of a deep tone to it, almost like it has a little bit of an unrestricted exhaust. But TFT display on this bad boy too, and this is like MSRP on this is like $3,999, so $4 grand. You're getting a TFT display. It's got navigation, Bluetooth. You can connect your phone to it. Like, that's pretty cool, and that's something that you're not going to see on a Japanese bike in this price point. Is a TFT display with all those options on it. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Okay. Go over a little construction bump. Alright, do a little roll on. Yep, second gear. Get up next to me. Yep. Woo, she gets, buddy. That's pretty cool. It gets up and goes pretty quick. I mean, that second gear to sixth gear, I mean, that was pretty quick. You want a rematch? How slow you want me to go? Yep. On your mark, go. Pretty close up until the top end. $68 miles an hour. We got 69, 71, 72. Yeah, revving at like 6,500, so it's really not that bad. So it's pretty comfortable even up top. We compared the speedometer on this bike to the speedometer on the Rebel, and they're pretty close. They're within like a 2 mile an hour variation, maybe. You know, in the short amount of time that we've had to compare them. So this speedometer, unlike the Papio, which was like 3 or 4, this seems to be a little bit closer to the Honda speedometer on the Rebel at least. So have not verified anything with GPS, but it's probably pretty close to actual speed, at least more so than what the Papio was. Ooh, she's snotty, bud. Did you see that? You don't want any of that. You can't handle this.